Hi, I'm Tim and this is Timberway Designs. I've been making a series of videos making cabochons out of rocks I find and purchase. This week I got a rock I found on the beach of Lake Superior, so let's make a cabochon. So let's take a closer look at this week's cabochon. This is a rock I found in Herbster, Wisconsin on the beach there. And you know, right here, it's pretty beach worn. But it's got some interesting colors and patterns to it, and I believe it's quartz with Jasper in there. So let's get it wet, and I'll show you why I picked this guy up. I think there's some really good potential in here, and you can almost see some feathering and stuff right there. There is one fracture, it looks like down, well, you probably can't see it now that I got it wet. So I have no idea what this looks like on the inside, so I'm going to take it downstairs and we're going to slice it open, and you guys get to see it the same time I get to see it. So there's the fracture right there. Let me grab a pointer here. Yeah, I got a fracture right here, and it's mostly predominant on this side. This side, I don't know, might be a little bit, but I think I can do something with it. So let's go down and cut it in half and see what's inside. Okay, we're down here on my high-tech 10-inch rock saw, and we're going to cut this week's rock in half here and see what's on the inside. So let's get going. All right, get this camera back in focus here. See what's inside. All right, that's kind of interesting. Let's take it upstairs. We'll take a closer look at it and then put a pattern on for a cabochon. Okay, we got this stone cut in half here. There's the two halves. Now, this one here, oh, this one here is out of the running because I got a fracture going all the way around here and kind of dropping all down in there. I'm not going to take a chance at that. So we're going to use this one. This one also has a fracture, but it just kind of runs along the top here and just a little bit on this side here. So I think we can avoid all that. So this week we're just going to use the old boring 30 millimeter ellipse here. Get my Sharpie out. So get her lined up. I was kind of practicing off camera here, but let's see. Yeah, it kind of wants to roll around a little bit. Or we can get it right about there. I think that avoids all the fractures and gives me enough edge to get a decent girdle on it. Let me get it down here where you guys can actually see what I'm doing. Get it back repositioned. That good, look good right there. Get my ultrafine Sharpie here. Okay. So we'll go downstairs and we'll trim that out. Just want to get this other one wet here so we can kind of see what's going on inside of it. So I'm thinking this is quartz with Jasper in it, but the Jasper is kind of feathered, so I think it'll look really cool once we get the other side polished down and make a cabochon out of it. Kind of excited about this one. You can kind of see the little feather, and I don't know how close I can get here. A little feathering effect going on. Oh. Right about there and there. All right, let's go trim it up. We'll take it over on the cabber and knock down to the edge of the line, and we're not putting this in a bezel. And I might not put it on a bale. I might sell this as a cabochon material for you wire wrappers and silversmiths out there. So let's head downstairs and get this rolling. All right, we're down here in the 5-inch trim saw. There's the shape. We're going to trim some of that edge off there. Then we'll take it over in the cab machine and cut it, grind it down to the lines. Here we go. Got to plug it in. My switch is bad. And I think that's about as far as I'm going to go. The other problem too is there's quite a hump here, and I didn't want to try to cut that off, so we're going to have to grind all that down when we daub it up and make a cab out of it. So let's head over to the cabber and grind it down to the lines. Okay, we're all trimmed up, and we're going to take the 80 grit and we're going to grind down to the line unless it starts chipping, and I'll move over to 220 and then the 280, and then I'll hit it with the 600 to polish the edge a little bit. And then we'll take it upstairs, put a top on it, and come down and dome it, make it a cabochon. So let's get started. Alright, wasn't chipping too bad, so I got pretty close to the line there. So let's move on to 220 to the line. Alright. Hey, you can really see some moss and stuff going on in there, feathering, or, you know, I call it moss. I'm pretty sure that's Jasper, since we found it on the north shore of Lake Superior. Well, the northern Wisconsin shore of Lake Superior. So let's take it over to 280, grind it smooth, and then we'll move on to the 600, and then we'll go put a daub on it. Checking for scratches. I think we're looking pretty good. I think I'm going to take it over to 600. You're not going to be able to see the 600, but you'll hear it. See what we got here. Yeah, it's already kind of picking up a shine. Quit touching the camera. Yeah, I think this is going to be a pretty one. Got one little fracture right here, but I think we can work around that. Alright, I'm going to take it upstairs, put a top on it, and bring it back, and we'll make a cab. Okay, we got her all on the dop stick, ready to go. We'll cut in a girdle here, about 2 millimeters or so, 1/8 inch, and got a lot of doming to do because this rock's pretty deep. I didn't scalp it, so the red water in the tray's not from the rock I was working on. It's from another rock. I'm doing a couple more in addition to this one here, but you won't see those on video. They're for another project. So let's get started. All right, I think we're going to try to take a little bit of that top off there. That's pretty steep. Knocked a little bit off. I thought I'm going to start doming from here. We got a lot to grind to get it down. A little too thick for my taste. Kind of like that height there. I'm going to touch up the girdle a little bit, and then we're going to move on to the 220 grit. All right, I'm happy with that. I think starting to see some of the moss or the feathering in there. Actually, it's looking kind of cool. So I think we're good there. We're going to go to the 280 grit. I can quit bumping my camera here. Yeah, looking pretty good. I ain't seen any scratches in there. I'm going to cut the edge and then we'll move on to the polishing stage. I quit touching my camera here. Okay, I'm liking that. So let's move on to the polishing. I got to reposition the camera here, so I'm going to shut you off for a minute or so. All right, we're on the polishing side here. 600 something, 15, 13, I don't freaking know, and 3000 in cerium oxide. So I usually spend about a minute or two on here until I feel that the scratches are gone, and then we'll do a little inspection. Just take a look and see if we see any scratches, but I think we're coming along here pretty good. So let's get going. Got a little shine going there. Move on to the next one here. You're getting a good shine going there. Got a little wet right there. All right, move on to the 3000. Okay, that's the 3000. Now we're going to tap it with some cerium oxide so we can bump this a little bit. All right, we're all set, ready to go here. Give it a little water. And you don't have to be on here for very long. I'm kind of liking that. Got a pretty good shine to it. So I'm going to take this upstairs. We're going to throw it in the freezer and knock it off the stick here. Hopefully we'll get a clean break, and then we'll take a closer look at it. So I just pulled it out of the freezer and got a nice clean break here. Minimal wax pick off. So let's take a closer look at this cabochon. So here's the cabochon we made today. I think it's pretty much quartz, and it's and the red stuff I think is Jasper, and it's kind of cool. Let me see how close I can get here. It's kind of feathery, filament-like stuff in there. Now the quartz molds in the quartz, I'm just going to guess here, is probably right around 6 to 7, and got an okay shine on it. Quartz is kind of funky like that. You can sometimes it's just like it's wet, and sometimes there ain't nothing you can do to make it really super shiny. So I'm not planning on putting this in a bezel or putting a bail on it. I'm going to sell it just like this for you craftsmen out there that like to wire wrap and put silver or put your own bail on there, whatever you want to do. So this stone will be available in my Etsy store. Link down below in the description if you want to look at it or purchase it. So, yeah, we picked this up on Lake Superior, just rolling up and down the beach, and the color, the red inside the quartz there while it was wet really intrigued me, so I picked it up. There's a good shot of the feathering inside there. And there you have it. I'll probably label it quartz / Jasper. So we took that beach stone I found on a beach in Lake Superior up in northern Wisconsin there, and I made a beautiful cabochon out of it the way I make them. I hope you enjoyed watching that. I'd like to thank all my subscribers. It really helps me out a lot. And if you haven't subscribed, consider subscribing. It's free, and I can use you on board. And give me a thumbs up if you don't mind. It helps get the analytics out there so more people can see this content. So next week I got myself a chunk of Paul Bunyan plume agate. I had to write that down. It's a mouthful. At least it wasn't a bunch of Latin words. Bought this at a rock show, and I thought it would make a really cool looking cabochon for this series here. So that's all I got, and we'll catch you later.